And good morning. Welcome to Community Voice. I'm your host, Josh Engel. Today is Friday, June 27th, and we are live streaming this morning's episode of Community Voice on our WLBB Facebook page, our News Talk 1330 Facebook page. So if you have any questions or comments for our guest, the illustrious Terry Lowry, feel free to throw those in the chat, and I'd be happy to read those out because we got a lot to talk about. But often folks will have questions, comments, parking questions. Maybe they'll have questions about the song lineup. Maybe they just want to know where Terry gets his suits. If they want to know, hop in the chat. Feel free to put those in there, and I'd be happy to read them out. Today we're going to be talking about a lot. We got a full weekend of events, concerts, and performances, and of course culminating in the Sounds of Liberty concert with the Carroll Symphony Orchestra. Knocks it out over at the Carrollton campus. And that's going to be on 8:15 on July 4th.
Yes.
And but we have a lot to talk about. So Terry, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Josh. How you doing?
Oh, very, very well. Thank
Good.
you.
I get my suits from Threads Custom Tailoring, Robin Worley.
Hold on, let me write that down.
Yeah.
Threads Custom Tailoring.
I want to give him a little plug.
Shout out to Robin Worley.
Yeah.
Man looks good every single time. He always makes me look like a bum. Awesome. All right. Well, Terry, if you could, for folks at home who may not have tuned in to one of our programs together, could you tell the folks at home a bit about yourself and a bit about the groups in which you compose and conduct and work with right here in our own local community?
Well, thanks, Josh. I'm the conductor of the Carroll Symphony Orchestra, and the Carroll Symphony Orchestra Foundation sponsors a number of other groups, such as the Carrollton Jazz Orchestra, the Carrollton Wind Ensemble, the Carrollton String Orchestra, which is in a partnership with the city of Carrollton. I also am the conductor of the Carroll County Community Chorus, and all of these groups are going to be coming together to kind of make a July 4th music festival. We do we make it a big deal here in Carrollton. You know, the Evening Sertoma Club puts on what I believe is the best parade in Georgia on the 4th of July. Rebecca Smith does such a great job with that, and so we try to add to that with some music. So on July the 2nd, that's on Wednesday night, the Carrollton Wind Ensemble will present a concert called American Marches and More. A lot of John Philip Sousa, a lot of patriotic music. And we've also invited the Carroll County Community Chorus to perform with us. So there'll be about 75 singers right in front of us. So that'll be at the AMP, the downtown AMP. So the Wind Ensemble will be on stage. They'll do most of the program. The Community Chorus will come up and sing the last 5 or 6 songs, just kind of surrounding the stage there. So it'll be fantastic. It'll be a packed house. People will come put their lawn chairs out early in the day. It'll just be a great day. It starts at 8 o'clock. So you want to come into the square. You want to eat at a local restaurant, support our local businesses, and then walk down to the AMP for a great concert. And it's covered, so if there's sprinkles or whatever, it's not gonna mess it up. We're gonna have a great concert. And then on Thursday, July the 3rd, the Carrollton Jazz Orchestra is going to play a program of American jazz. Now, of course, that's easy because jazz is American. There are some really great jazz composers that aren't American, but we're going to stick to the American composers for this gig. A lot of Basie and Dizzy Gillespie and a lot of the great American big band composers. So that'll be a terrific concert. The Carrollton Jazz Orchestra, of course, plays all over the state of Georgia. It's one of the best big bands in the state right now, and we've built a really great audience here in Carrollton. We do about 6 concerts here and about that many concerts around the state. So that'll be July the 3rd at 8 o'clock. Of course, all these concerts are free. So you want to come out with your entire family, bring the kids, bring your lawn chairs, young and old, have a great time. And then on Friday night on the 4th of July, in front of Carrollton Elementary School, the Carroll Symphony Orchestra will present the Sounds of Liberty. Now, the Sounds of Liberty Graddick Communications started this concert before I ever moved to Carrollton, back in the 90s at some point.
Steve always brags about coining the name.
That's right. That was his baby. And there's a little bit of a story behind that. There's a 4th of July celebration in Rome where Graddick Communications was before it came to Carrollton. And it came to Carrollton and wanted to do kind of the same thing here. So he started it with local talent, singing patriotic songs to tape tracks and, that kind of thing back in the day. He remembered that the Rome Symphony used to play with the folks in Rome. And so he when we formed the Carroll Symphony Orchestra, he immediately came to me and said, "Hey, look, this is something we've got to get together and do." And so eventually the Carroll Symphony Orchestra took over the Sounds of Liberty, and that was in 2005. It's 2025 now. And so for all these years, we've been playing a concert of American composers, all American composers, and it leads up to the brilliant fireworks display put on by the city of Carrollton, Jonathan Dorsey and those guys. But it is, man, what a fantastic fireworks. It's unbelievable that
It's
we
top
have
shelf.
it absolutely is. You can go anywhere. I mean, New York, Washington, wherever, I don't care. Our fireworks are just as good. I mean, they're fantastic, and they go on forever. And it's not like there's a firework, boom, let's wait a while. There's another firework, boom. I mean, it's like grand finale for 20 solid minutes, and it just goes. And we keep playing. We keep playing marches all through that to keep the festivities going, and it's just a blast. It's just a lot of fun. So that's been going on forever. There'll be 10 or 12,000 people out there enjoying the music. I always say that, yeah, you can watch it online, or you can listen to it, and that's great. And if you can't come, that's what we want you to do. But if you can come to the party. And people, sometimes I see people parked on the side of the road or out on the bridge or out at Target or wherever. And I'm like, that's like going to a birthday party and pulling up in front of the house and just staying in the car.
Not going in.
Yeah, go into the party. The party is at the school. The party is in front of the elementary school. That's where the people are. Come to the party. Hear the concert. It's the best place from which to watch the fireworks. Bring your Frisbees. Bring your picnic blankets. Bring your food. Just have a great time. We have snow cone vendors and icy vendors, and of course plenty of porta potties and all that. The whole thing. We're hoping to even have some special surprises provided by the Georgia National Guard that are going to commemorate the 250th anniversary of the United States Army. So we're not going to give away those secrets yet, but I'd look forward to some additional surprises this year at the concert. So it's going to be a fantastic night. It always is. It's my family's favorite holiday. We use it as a family reunion. People come in from all over the country. They spend the day. Of course, I'm in rehearsals with the orchestra, but they're all at the pool having a good time. Then they come out to the concert early, and they have their picnic and their Frisbees and the baseball gloves, and then they stay and enjoy the concert. And it's just, man, it's the greatest night of the year. So 3 big nights in a row of music here in Carrollton. You've got the Carrollton Wind Ensemble and Community Chorus on Wednesday night at 8 at the Amp downtown. On Thursday night, July 3rd, you got the Carrollton Jazz Orchestra at the Amp downtown. On Friday morning is the parade, the best parade in Georgia, the People's Parade, sponsored by the Evening Sertoma Club. And then on the evening of the 4th of July in front of Carrollton Elementary School, the Sounds of Liberty with the Carroll Symphony Orchestra and the fireworks by the city of Carrollton. It's just nobody does the 4th of July like Carrollton does.
Time is 8:38. Before we take our first commercial break, we do have our first comment in for Conductor Terry Lowry from Barry, Oxford. Hello, Terry from Vienna with Manfred.
That's awesome. Barry Oxford is he's on the board of directors of the Symphony, and he sings in the Carroll County Community Chorus. He is on a scouting trip. The Carroll County Community Chorus is going to Vienna, Austria this December to sing in the Vienna Advent Sing. How fantastic is that?
That's incredible.
So we're taking almost 100 people to Vienna to sing at this festival. And Barry went over on a scouting trip. They have a scouting trip designed for directors, but I've done this festival many times, so I know what to expect. And I thought, well, it'd be better to send someone who's in the group so that when Barry comes back, he can tell the group what he experienced. And I travel a lot, so I don't know that when I say that something's easy, I don't know that people believe that that's really easy. It's just easy because I do it a lot. When Barry comes back, they'll believe what he says. So anyway, Barry is in Oxford with one of my very favorite people in all the world. He's Manfred. Manfred is the husband of the founder of the company that puts on that festival. And he's just the coolest dude in the world. If we have at some point off the air, I'll tell you about attending the funeral of Otto von Habsburg. And Manfred made that happen. So I'm very jealous that Barry is getting to hang out with the coolest guy in all the world right now.
Hey, shout out to Barry and Manfred.
That's right.
Keep yourself safe
Absolutely.
in Vienna. And, the rest of the team will be reunited with you later in the year.
I'm jealous of Barry getting to hang out with Manfred.
That's awesome. Awesome. Well, time is 8:40. We're going to go ahead and take our first commercial break. When we come back, we'll continue our conversation with conductor of the Carroll Symphony Orchestra, the Carrollton Wind Ensemble, and the Carrollton Jazz Orchestra, Terry Lowry, as we talk more about the upcoming concerts July 2nd, 3rd, and 4th as we honor our country's birthday. Community Voice brought to you by Tanner Health and Oak Mountain Academy.
The Entrepreneur Scholar Journey at Oak Mountain Academy is designed to provide students with a clearly defined curriculum-based track to acquire essential knowledge and skills for success in business and leadership. Critical areas include identifying entrepreneurial characteristics, selecting a value position, and business model development. I'm Patrick Uran, head of school, inviting you to journey with us on the mountain. For more information, visit us at oakmountain.us. Discover your journey at OMA. Prepare, explore, and achieve.
Consider the Mobius strip. Take a strip of paper, twist it, connect the ends. This connection forms a continuous loop. Seamless, infinite. That's how your healthcare should be too. At Tanner Health, the Mobius is our symbol and our promise, representing our continuum of care and our commitment that the services you need will be here for you always. We're not just changing healthcare, we're redefining it. See more at tanner.org.
We're back to Community Voice. I'm your host, Josh Engel. Today is Friday, June 27th, and we're wrapping up the week with a bang. We have the one and only Terry Lowry, a concert pianist, as well as a conductor and composer, conductor of the Carroll Symphony Orchestra, Carrollton Wind Ensemble, Carrollton Jazz Orchestra, and, honestly, a music teacher. He teaches music to a youth all throughout the local community. And this is just a small fraction of everything that Terry has his hands in. I mean, the Young Composer Competition, performances all over the world. I think Terry's one of those cats that could get dropped off in any country, and there's someone there he's probably worked with before, conducted, played with. So we actually have a weekend full of exciting events coming up next week. Honestly, everything's going to kick off on July 2nd with the Carrollton Wind Ensemble playing American Marches and More at the Carrollton Amp. It's going to be with the Carroll Community Chorus. And we also have the Carrollton Jazz Orchestra playing on July 3rd at 8 p.m. And then the big Sounds of Liberty concert on Friday, July 4th. It's going to be around 8:15. So, Terry, you mentioned something in the last segment, and I think it'd be great to maybe highlight that before we start talking about some of the highlights from the different concerts coming up next week. You make a point to play for this event. I mean, we're talking about for these series of concerts, historically, traditionally, you stick with American composers because we're celebrating Lady Liberty's birthday.
Always have.
So, could you speak on that for a bit?
Yeah, we play all American composers for this. I mean, every piece that we play is written by an American. That's kind of the idea. In instrumental music, a lot of what we play is a European tradition, Central European tradition. We play a lot of German composers, Austrian composers throughout the year. You play Beethoven and Mozart and that kind of thing, right? And the American composers don't get quite as much airtime, partly because for the first 150 years of our country, the people who wanted to be composers went to Europe to study because that's where the big orchestras were. And so, they were over there and they were writing in the style of the Europeans. Of course they were. Kind of an American style really didn't take hold till the end of the 19th century and really kind of took off after Aaron Copland was so popular in the 1930s. And then, of course, after World War II, American culture starts to dominate internationally. And so in the same way that American pop music starts to take over the world, American classical music does too, and becomes a much bigger deal. We had more economic resources. We had, our homeland wasn't, outside of Pearl Harbor, wasn't, decimated.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you start to hear a lot more American composers, but it's a newer tradition, right? It's not, it hasn't been around 200 or 300 years like European instrumental music. So we try to let this be an opportunity for us to really showcase some composers that may not be heard as often, but are just as recognizable. The music that you hear, you'll hear dum da da dum da 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 dum, bump 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 beef. What's for dinner? Now you know the tune, right? But you don't know what it is. Well, it's Aaron Copland. It's Hoedown from Rodeo. But that, it could also include John Williams, and we're going to play the Superman March, which I think is one of his best scores. And there's a new Superman movie coming out this summer, so it's a perfect time. John Williams is the most played American composer, obviously. We're going to play a fantastic piece by Michael Dougherty, who is a Grammy award-winning American composer. We're going to play a piece of his called Route 66, which is American sounding as it can be. It's got elements of blues, elements of rock, elements of jazz, all played by a symphony orchestra. And it sounds like you're riding in an awfully fast car. I mean, this piece is moving, and so it'd be great to premiere this piece here in Carrollton. We're playing a piece by Sam Baltzer, who lives in Rome. We do a lot of Sam's music. We're playing one of our young composer winners from this past year. We typically play as you mentioned earlier, we have a statewide young composer competition where we premiere music written by Georgia students K through 12. It's the only opportunity like this in the world where a 8-year-old kid can write a piece of music and have a professional symphony play it. We typically do this in February, but we had this kid that is also a really good bassoon player, and he made district honor band, and he wasn't going to be able to come to hear his music played by the symphony because he was participating in honor band. I said, well, that can't happen. We'll just wait and play your piece in July because I want you to be there. I want you to hear your work. So his name is Mike Matt, Matte, and he lives in Marietta. And he's been taking orchestration lessons from me since he won. All the winners take orchestration lessons from me. So we're going to premiere his piece. It's a really neat piece, his first composition. We'll play a lot of marches. We'll play, of course, To the Colors and the National Anthem, and we'll do America the Beautiful and Battle Hymn of the Republic. We'll honor veterans. We have veterans that'll be present. So it's a great show. And we do the same thing with the wind ensemble and the jazz band, all American composers. It's just the thing to do. I remember growing up watching the Boston Pops and Arthur Fiedler and Esplanade Orchestra. And that was, the thing on the 4th of July that, you watched that and you saw the fireworks go off. And the thing is that they always play the 1812 overture at the end.
Joe, is that Tchaikovsky?
Tchaikovsky writing about a Russian victory over the French army. It has the French army running away in retreat. And I'm like, what in the world is why are we playing the French national anthem when they lost the war in the first place, written by a Russian composer? So that just doesn't make any sense. I'd much rather play the Battle Hymn and Stars and Stripes Forever and hear the fireworks to American composers. So that's what we've always done. That's what we'll always do. It's the right thing to do. It's America's birthday party. Let's play American composers.
So between the, so across the board, all three concerts, July 2nd, July 3rd, and July 4th, all American composers. Mm-hmm. Could you speak a bit to the differentiation? Because we're talking about different collections of instruments playing together. What kind of thought do you have to put into modifying the set list depending on the orchestra? Is there a big difference, or do you I suppose do you keep more more groovy songs for the jazz orchestra, maybe more modern ones? I wonder if there's any rubrics you follow with that.
Well, that's a great question because America's a big place, and when you say American music, what are you talking about? Are you talking about Maine? Are you talking about Arizona? Are you talking about Washington State? Are you talking about Florida?
Zydeco.
Are you talking about Kansas City jazz from the 50s? Are you talking about New Orleans in the 19 teens? Are you talking about Chicago? I mean, my word. It's a big place, right? I mean, it's a big place when you talk about American music. So having these three concerts, for me creatively, as a musician, it's an opportunity to get to explore different music from different regions. Because it's kind of hard to say that there's like one American style just because the place is so big. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's what all my friends from other countries, when they come to visit or to tour or whatever, the first thing they always say is, my word, I had no idea it was so big. this place is huge, and it is huge. It's like 50 countries, right? To them, to anybody else in the world, they come here and it's like 50 countries, and you all speak the same language, and you can just go from one state to the other.
I mean, they even say Texas. It's a whole other country.
It's just a huge place, and so when you're playing music for the wind ensemble, for instance, in the concert band tradition, you're playing a lot of composers from the Midwest and a lot of a lot of composers from the South, because band's a big deal down here because, well, quite honest, football's a big deal, and football's a big deal in the Midwest. And it's funny, you never see a national championship college football team from the Northeast, but you see a lot of baseball teams, the Yankees and the Red Sox, and that's where baseball's played. But then you go down to Michigan, Ohio State, Nebraska, and make your way down to Alabama and Georgia, and that's football country. And so that's band country.
What's football without a band?
Because you got to march it, right? And so band's a big deal here. When you're playing jazz, you're looking a lot at New Orleans and Chicago and Kansas City and eventually Harlem. And so there's a different tradition you're drawing from there. And with the orchestral music, that's probably the one that's the broadest, I suppose, because the composers, there's not like a regional orchestral sound for the South, or there are some New York sounds, in particular in the 50s. There were different schools of thought for composition in New York, and I don't want to digress into some university style lecture here about downtown music, midtown music, or uptown music, as fascinating as it is. But let's just say that most of the orchestral music was midtown music. It was the Leonard Bernstein style stuff, and he was playing a lot of Aaron Copland. And so those are the kind of composers that had the most influence over what was going on. And that the next group was in California, up in San Francisco. And so those, and they're very similar. And so that's kind of that wide open space is the kind of music. Imagine a Western, if you were going to create a movie, and you're going to set it in the West, whether it's a cowboy movie or a modern day love story set in the West, where you've got big scenery and big skies and big landscapes. The kind of orchestral music that would accompany that is what we kind of think of as the American sound, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. Monument Valley.
There you go. The kind of music that you would expect to hear when you're looking at that has kind of become the American sound. And so you'll hear a lot of that on the Sounds of Liberty. That combined with a lot of the marches from John Philip Sousa. Of course, John Philip Sousa, the fascinating thing with him is that he had this band in the late 1800s, early 1900s, and he would take them just through communities all across America. And they would play concerts every day. I mean, they would play in gazebos, town squares, or if they came to Carrollton, they'd play at the Amp. That's the kind of thing they would do. And he would pick up tunes along the way and write marches as he went. And the band would play marches where the ink was still wet, where he finished it the night before, because he heard a tune, 2 days earlier in the town next door, and he started writing. And then, okay, guys, here's the new march inspired by those folks we met 2 days ago. And so he would pick up tunes like that. One of my favorites is one called "Songs of Grace and Songs of Glory," where he would also play on Sundays, and local clergy would get angry that he was playing on Sundays because you're bringing this crowd in. It's all this too much revelry going on a Sunday afternoon. That should be the day of rest. And so to appease them, he wrote this piece called "Songs of Grace and Songs of Glory," which is about a 10-minute long medley of some of the most popular sacred tunes of the time. Things like "Rock of Ages" and "Near My God to Thee," and pieces from the Verdi Requiem and things like that. Pieces that people knew. And so he would specifically tailor some of his marches to the area where he was. So that's, in that sense, we do get a sense of old Americana. I call it the Walt Disney Americana from the 1890s kind of thing, where Sousa would pick up tunes as he went from town to town to town. And he did play in Georgia. He played I know that he played in Commerce, Georgia, where the Carrollton Wind Ensemble is playing tonight. We're driving over across the state to do a patriotic concert and fireworks for the city of Commerce, because they heard about what we do in Carrollton and they wanted a piece of it. And I said, well, we'd love to do it, but we can't do it on the 4th of July or the 2nd or 3rd of July. And they said, well, fine, we'll do it whenever. Can you do it on the 27th of June?
Speaks to the...
I said, absolutely, we'd love to. So Yeah, we're going to go spread the love and show the folks in Commerce what Carrollton's all about.
Time is 8:55. We're going to go ahead and knock out our last commercial break. And when we come back, we'll wrap up with Conductor Terry Lowry in the last few minutes of the program. We can recap the upcoming concerts on July 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. So stay with us. Community Voice brought to you by Tanner Health and Oak Mountain Academy.
Oak Mountain Academy is an innovative school of academic excellence celebrating over 61 years. I'm Patrick Uran, head of school, inviting you to join us on the mountain to see our mission and vision in action. Academic excellence, a faith-based environment, and dynamic opportunities are just a few of the reasons our families choose Oak Mountain Academy. Academic scholarships and tuition assistance are available. For more information, visit us at oakmountain.us. Discover your journey at OMA. Prepare, explore, and achieve.
Consider the Mobius strip. Take a strip of paper, twist it, connect the ends. This connection forms a continuous loop. Seamless, infinite. That's how your healthcare should be too. At Tanner Health, the Mobius is our symbol and our promise, representing our continuum of care and our commitment that the services you need will be here for you always. We're not just changing healthcare, we're redefining it. See more at tanner.org.
And we're back to Community Voice. We got about 3 minutes with the man himself, Terry Lowry, conductor of the Carroll Symphony Orchestra, Carrollton Jazz Orchestra, Carrollton Wind Ensemble, and so much more. We've been chatting about Lady Liberty's birthday coming up, July 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. We have some concerts. If you'd be willing, maybe give folks a quick recap so that they can be sure to mark their calendars to attend these concerts.
Absolutely. Great week coming up in Carrollton next week on July the 2nd at 8 o'clock at the Downtown Amp in Carrollton. The Carrollton Wind Ensemble will present a concert free, open to the public, called American Marches and More. We've invited the Carroll County Community Chorus to sing with us. So come early, put out your lawn chairs, go eat at the square, walk down to the amp for the concert at 8 o'clock on July the 2nd. On Thursday, July the 3rd, same deal, but with the Carrollton Jazz Orchestra. It's a fantastic jazz band's going to play some of the hottest and coolest tunes, jazz charts by American jazz artists. It's going to be a fantastic show, 8 o'clock, again, free, open to everybody. And then Friday morning, the People's Parade, the Carrollton Evening Sertoma Club, presents that, and then head on over to Carrollton Elementary School with your picnic blankets, frisbees, baseball gloves. Make an outing for the whole family. We'll start the music around 8:15, 8:20 for the Sounds of Liberty with the Carroll Symphony Orchestra, and at 9:30 the fireworks presented by the city of Carrollton. We'll play music to accompany the fireworks. There's nothing else like it in the state of Georgia. It's easily the greatest place to be on the 4th of July. Come to the party. Come down to where the music is. Come hear the music. Be in front of the stage. Watch the fireworks. Don't sit in your car. Go inside. Enjoy the party. It's a blast. You'll be glad you did.
Awesome. And where can folks learn more about any of these events?
Well, on all of these groups, they have a presence on Facebook, obviously. The Carroll Symphony Orchestra, the Carrollton Wind Ensemble, Carrollton Jazz Orchestra, Carroll County Community Chorus, and obviously the city of Carrollton publicizes this. Our website at mycarrollsymphony.com. You can learn more, and of course on all the websites with Gradit Communications.
Excellent. Terry, thank you so much for your time, brother. We look forward to the concerts. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you, Josh.
And to everyone who tuned in today, we'll see you at the concerts next week. Have a great weekend.